We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 239. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the returning and new Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar Tarek. How are you feeling tonight, sir?
I am simply feeling wonderful, Sir Jeff. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
I'm a noble now. I dig it.
Well, now, I have a new Scholar Tarek. I am now enlightened. I like to look at things at the positives. And you were a very worthy adversary when it comes to the Scholars of Wrestling Championship.
I'll tell you what, I like this new Tarek. It's sporting, still gracious in victory, truly a champion of the people. Isn't that right, Scholar Brian?
Wait for it.
I am savoring the moment. Whatever.
Well, don't put yourself down, Scholar Brian. You are just as worthy a champion as before. And granted, you may not have held the title long, but on the bright side, you are now having the title of no longer being the shortest reigning champion. Congratulations.
That does make me very happy. It seems like the month off has rejuvenated Tarek. Scholar Tarek. In a very nice way.
It certainly has. And even though my last reign was the shortest so far, you know what? A title reign is still a title reign, and you know what? I'll take that L.
And even more so, as I continue to call myself the Undisputed Scholar, eventually I will not be the only Undisputed Scholar. You are slowly building up your accomplishments and doing such that. Very soon, you will call yourself Undisputed Scholar, just as you will eventually call yourself Undisputed Scholar. It may not be as long as he's doing it, but it will come to you eventually, good sir.
Isn't it all that we're all better people? I don't care. I'm rolling with this. I'll take it.
Like I said,
Fishnet.
Waiting for the shoe to drop.
Like I said, I am an enlightened scholar. I am feeling so positively positive right now.
Have you been doing your yoga? Inside jokes for the win. But in the meantime...
Inside jokes for wrestling fans. Only
yes,
wrestling fans will get that reference.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Not for nothing, in all relative seriousness, this week in wrestling, especially this past pay-per-view of the Elimination Chamber, had a lot more to offer than I expected. Well, in my case anyway. There was a lot I personally enjoyed. So, without further delay, let's get right into it. This is a review of Elimination Chamber 2019, starting with, right from 205 Live, Buddy Murphy defeated Akira Tozawa. I don't think this came as a surprise to anybody.
No, not at all. Elimination Chamber is the tale of two shows, basically. Okay? There are the extremely good bits, and there are the extremely bad bits. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. And on the extremely good side, kicking us off with the great buffalo wings platter of an appetizer that was Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa, going back in time to the food references.
Always appreciated.
Yes. This was exactly what we thought it was going to be. They got a good amount of time. They both got to showcase their stuff. It was very crisp. It was very smooth. It was a standard Buddy Murphy pay-per-view match to get the crowd amped up, which it did by the end of it, as it always does. They always put it in the position where the people don't care until they get going, and boy howdy did they get going.
Yeah, I have to admit I caught on a little bit late. I missed this pre-show match, but I gotta say I was not shocked by the results. I figured Buddy Murphy would win, and let's face it, we all knew that they would deliver.
Buddy Murphy has been a fantastic cruiserweight champion, and I'm gonna be sad to see him lose it at WrestleMania to whoever he's facing.
We will say though, he's pretty much running completely through the 205 Live roster. It's going to be somebody brand new that's going to take this title off him.
I for one am very curious to see who ends up coming out of the woodwork, just to come out of the 205 Live roster, and just who steps up to take him on. But in the meantime, we actually have the show proper, kicking things off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match.
Which actually kind of shocked me a little bit.
Why is that?
At the beginning, not knowing what was going to happen later. Okay, I thought the big thing of the day was going to be... I said that Nia Jax and Tamina were going to win. Okay? Just because it seemed like a WWE thing to do. Okay? But my head was going, if you're going to have Bayley and Sasha Banks win the thing, women's tag team titles, first ever, Elimination Chamber match, I was like, and the way that this company's been run the last year, okay, it actually shocked me that they went on first instead of main event.
It did for me.
It actually did. But
it didn't for me either. I'll explain my logic later.
This had the potential to be so bad, but it turned out to be so good. There were some sloppy bits,
mainly at the beginning.
Sloppy bits.
But it was like it was one of those, like, you didn't get mad at it.
No,
you were just like, look at them. They're nervous. It's their first time. They're having fun. I'm having fun. I'm not even getting... Yeah, I know that came out wrong.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's a whore.
Yeah. But really, okay, I do enjoy the fact that the first two teams were the last two teams. I did enjoy the fact that if they were gonna do the Nia Jax and Tamina losing, okay, you can't have Nia Jax taking that pin. So they did that, and they did that elimination in the correct way. Okay, the Iconics looked good. Holy shit! Okay,
they were. I posted on Twitter, they were complete and total cartoons, and I loved it.
There was nobody in this match, with the exception of Naomi and Carmella, that were filler. All of them deserved to be there. They all had yeah.
I understand.
They
trust me. I understand that the Iconics are the more official tag team of the whole bunch, but with their win-loss record, did they deserve to be there?
For me,
no.
Okay, for me, they proved themselves in the match itself. Did they deserve to be there? By storyline and in record-wise, did they deserve to be there? Probably not. But in the match,
they deserve to be a part of it.
In the match themselves, they proved that they belonged there. Okay, that's on them. That's not on that's on WWE booking. That's not on them. Mm-hmm. Okay, Naomi and Carmella, they got their spots in, but we knew that somebody was going to be punished out of this Usos deal over the weekend. We knew that somebody was going to be punished, and it turned out in this case to be the person who didn't get arrested. It turned out to be Naomi. They go out first with one of the greatest pinfalls I have ever seen with the Iconics.
You gotta also add to the fact with the whole what's the word? The whole story between Corey Graves and Carmella.
Oh,
yeah, they had to avoid that as quickly as possible as well. So,
and by
in the end, both women had to be out of there.
At that point,
controversy. That's the word I was looking for.
At that point, the report about Corey Graves and the separation hadn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this was pre.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and everybody hit their spots. It was sloppy in the beginning, but with the emotional ending, like it did hit me. It did hit me in the feels when the match was over, and really for the first ever women's tag team championship match in the Elimination Chamber. If you hit me in the feels, we're good, man. That's it.
I do appreciate some of the highlights that were put in this match, especially in reference to last year's women's Elimination Chamber with Sasha Banks and Bayley. With instead of pushing Bayley off the pod like she did last year, Sasha Banks, take my hand, you're my friend now, I love you, and pulled her right up on top of the pod. And one big factor that I did like about it is that this was really Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose's highlight match.
Yeah, they stepped up in a big way.
You definitely see that these two improved in the ring. So when you actually see them, the last team eliminated, and now you're starting to see Mandy Rose being put in a position to take on Asuka, which is most likely just at Fastlane.
Yeah,
it
but
is.
You can see that they're pushing her not to be it's not like she's gonna beat Asuka. I don't think that's gonna happen, but at least they're pushing her to now be somewhat of a contender. Just be like, okay, now Asuka, the SmackDown women's roster, not as full,
not even in the least at this moment.
So now when you have Mandy Rose and possibly Sonya Deville start slowly transitioning into that title picture, I actually see it.
Like we had inklings. Okay, they got a little bit of time every now and then, and we could see
Naomi, yeah.
and we could see that they weren't bad. We didn't have enough time to show that they were actually like really good, but that's what the Elimination Chamber's for. Okay, time to show up, time to put up or shut up. Mm-hmm. Okay, and just Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville really put up, and I can't wait for when Shayna Baszler comes up. I want to see Sonya Deville versus Shayna Baszler.
I would be way more concerned about that match if Sonya Deville hadn't wisely taken the time since the signing of Baszler and Rousey to very much differentiate herself from being a strict MMA lady. If she had done that, she would have been absolutely destroyed by everyone around her. But it looks like she's remixing that in a bit and turning it into something a little bit more original. As opposed to more of a straight-up brawler than I'm like a fake MMA girl. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna wallop you.
Which is why now I can actually see it. And I actually want to see it.
I loved what they put in. It was the surprise X factor that I needed to see out of this match. The quality was what I expected it. It was good. It was very enjoyable. But I was a little afraid that they weren't going to deliver much of a surprise in any respect. This was that surprise for me. They delivered. They stepped up. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are up there for me.
Did anyone expect Nia Jax and Tamina to not even be in the final two?
I certainly did not expect that.
I thought they were.
I thought it was going to come down to Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina.
I think a lot of people did.
So when Nia Jax threw herself through that pod, and
without even close to Bayley,
and the other four just teamed up and pinned Tamina, I was like, ooh, and I was like,
interesting turn of events,
and I was like, they could go crazy here.
And with all the near falls they did, they